Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web. And as you can see from your man here, he's all dry. He's finished. The head of his staff is quite shiny, as are other parts. As you can see, the pipe's looking rusty and everything else is looking fairly adequate to purpose. He is now finished. I also want to point out that Nemrath, who I showed you in the last video, I cut out the card or the piece of paper from the packaging, thinking I didn't have the card. As I looked through my Asterian cards, and he wasn't there, and then I realised he's a mercenary. So I had all through my mercenary cards and the card was there, so I don't need that anymore. Before we carry on, I just want to show you what I have done, however, with Nemrath. If you remember from the first one, he looked a little bit chalky and powdery. Well, I've left him soaking overnight the other night and gave him a quick brush over with a old toothbrush, a very cheap toothbrush, and that's how he's looking now. So I've done the same. What's the word I'm looking for? I did the same with the arms. As you can see, however, the arm there is not the correct shape for going in, so I'm going to have to cut that off, that tab off, and glue, and hope it and hope I can get it fixed or fitted in properly. But that is, as I say, Nemrath, and we're not doing anything with him now, because first what we want to do is try and get the main part of our IDICBeer's challenge finished, which is the starter faction, or the starter sets for the Asterians. All we have left are these. I also want to say thank you to Mega Deutschbag who said that my breathing was sounded a bit iffy, basically. Yeah, I do suffer from asthma. It's climate, it's affected by climate and whatever, and at the moment the weather's very changeable here in Britain, and it does tend to take its toll, unfortunately. I am at the moment sucking on a mentholated sweet, so fingers crossed it shouldn't be too bad. And I've had my sprays as well, so as I say, fingers crossed hopefully it won't be too bad in this one, although my throat is feeling a little dry, so time will tell. Okay, so what I want to do first of all is, using Screamer Pink, and just take a little bit of that and put it on our wet palette. And as I said last time when I decided I was going to do something different with this, I'm going to just paint over the these parts where I'm going to be painting the pink on this, and that way I can go around and dum 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 dum, what's the word I'm looking for? I can go around again a little bit later with the iron breaker. That will do the trick. And then we can go on to the main body of the machine, which is going to be like a metallic colour. So for that we're going to be using tin bits, as it is now, Warplock Bronze. So I'm going to put that away for the time being. I'm going to get the Warplock Bronze out, put some of that on our wet palette, and every word that's going to be this Warplock Bronze, and I'm using my previous one for reference, I'm going to go over with this Warplock Bronze. Like so, and then we come back to it later and add the other metallic finishes that we want on it. So high speed video, here we go. Okay, nearly finished, and as you can see, what I've been doing, going round the areas where I've applied the pink, is kind of like a dry brush effect, so I'll get very little amount of paint on the brush and then just go across where the lines are, where I want the pink to stay on view. So I don't want to be losing any of that pink, or much of that pink. We can always go back and tart up later on if I do lose any. It's not a big issue if I do, but I want to try my best not to lose any of it at all. I've just looked, and this part here is also metallic. I'm going to do that now. But yeah, there's a lot of nice little nooks and crannies in here that we can mess up if we're not careful. So really got to be careful with what we're doing when we're doing this kind of thing. Again, notice somewhere else I've missed, which is here. Again, notice how I go just across the pink areas and avoiding going along it, so that we don't what's the word I'm looking for, we don't cover the pink with the Warplock Bronze. So I think that is, oh, almost, I was going to say that is almost done, but it's not quite. Well, it is almost done. It's just this part here that we need to do now. Warplock Bronze doesn't go over this pink terribly well, so, but we don't need it to really. It's just there to add a bit of a base colour for the rest of the metal that we're going to be using, or the metallic colours that we're going to be using. As long as it covers up most of this pink, that is all that matters. Mind you, it could just be this light making it look as though it's not covering terribly well. And there we are. I think the next thing we need to do now, I'm going to ignore the guns for the time being. I'm going to make my mind up of what colours they're going to be done after I've done the main body of this. But I just, as I said, want to do the main body first of all, make sure that's sorted. And just in case you're wondering what the crunching is, as I said, I'm sucking on a mentholated sweet. So as I'm talking, it's just got between my teeth and I've crunched down on it. Okay, so we're having now a spot of the Wasdaka Red, which you've seen many times before, but here we are again. This is the one that we're going to be using for the base coats for all the red areas in this, such as here. And again, we just slap it on. And here we are now, very near the end of this part. All that's going to happen in a second is that I'm going to be going back to the Warplot Bronze to cover up an area that I've missed. But what we need to do first, before we do anything else, is just wait for the whole lot of this to dry. I think, mind you saying that, I think it is dry. So I'm just going to go over some areas that haven't actually had a good coverage. Go over them just that little better. I'll give them that little better coverage. These aren't 40k orcs I'm painting. One of these days I'm going to get my orc army out and let you have a look at those. The vehicles on those look as though they have just come off Scrap Heap Challenge, if you remember that programme. Really badly painted panels, very poor coverage, but because they're orcs, doesn't make any difference. Because I decided at that time that orcs wouldn't really be into high gloss bodywork for their vehicles. They'd just be into slamming it together and just getting a tub of paint and just throwing it at them, at the vehicles, rather than actually spending time painting the vehicles. So that's how I've portrayed my vehicle. That's how I portrayed my orcs with the way that my vehicles are painted. You'll see probably about 3 or 4 different shades and different qualities of panels, or painted panels, on my war trucks and my buggies and stuff like that. And as far as I'm concerned, that difference actually makes the army, because everybody sees that, these really well painted armies, and by doing mine not to the standard that I would have normally done it, it makes it look a little more impressive, and true to the style of orcs, I think. But that's just the way, that might just be the way I'm thinking of it. But there we are, that's that done. Saying that, it does look pretty dry at the moment, so I think we may be able to get away with giving it its first wash, which will be and I've just noticed one slight drawback. We can't actually wash the metal bits because I've done the pink inside. Damn. I think it may have been a waste of time doing it that way. Oh, never mind, let's get on with it. Come on, stop messing about. Oh dear, we should have enough of this Agrax shade in this pot to do the job that we need it to do. So let's get it done. paint isn't going on too heavily, so it may actually still just add a little bit of depth to the pink and not wipe it out completely, but time will tell. You can only tell these things once the wash has dried. We're going to be going over with black wash as well. Once we put the metallic paint over the top, you know, the iron breaker and whatever, and then highlighting it with silver or the Runefang steel. So yeah, it was really a mistake putting the pink on, but you learn by your mistakes. So if you ever do another one of these, I'll know not to do that again. It won't stop me doing that again, but no, I shouldn't do it again. Oh well, never mind. And next, just before we go, because I don't want to be doing this, where are you? We're going to be using Carrollburg Crimson. The one we've just used, as I said, was Agrax Earthshade. We've got no more of this left, we're just using the last bit, so that pot can go. I've got another pot, so I'm not really too fussed. This is the Carrollburg Crimson that we're going to be doing over the red areas. If it mixes in with the brown, it's okay, it just adds another shade to the wash. And as I said, we just do this over the red bits. Tippity tippity tom, and if you're wondering what that snoring sound is, it's, oh excuse me, it's my little mate Laddie, fast asleep on the chair, giving it the Zeds. His girlfriend Molly bought him a glow-in-the-dark or light-up ball for Christmas that we take out on the field opposite, and I tow it up and down the path so he can have a run at night as well, especially if I've been out during the day. He absolutely loves it. So much so that every now and again he'll just walk over to it, give it a smack, watch it light up and just walk away from it. And just leave it lit and keep going back, nudging it every now and again. I've put a couple of photos on my Facebook page of him with the ball. So you can get onto there, I think, from my main page. I do have the Facebook link. I'm sure it's to my main page rather than my game page, my Facebook Spider's Web game page, because I've not done much in there for a while. So I'm thinking of closing my Spider's Web game page down on Facebook, to be honest, but there we go, never mind, not sure as yet. So there we are with our Region Flippity Gibbets, our little drone thingy. Can't do anything more with this until the thing dries, but we'll leave it to dry. As I say, I want to get this done before I start on doing these two pieces, because I want to see if I want to make sure I get the matching, or everything matches up and looks okay. So until next time, because I'm going to have to leave it to you, take care, God bless, and as always, bye for now.